Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Victor. This is Jack. Jack, so what I've been wondering recently, do you have a story about, let's say, the Israeli government and the American government both conspiring to and covering up killing American citizens?
It's a very specific question
Yes.
there. Very specific.
I have thoughts.
But
Okay.
let's see. Okay. Let's choose one of those stories. Okay. And we're going to go with the USS Liberty. Of course, you know that because you clicked on it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you what the official narrative is, just real fast. Okay. Because it's just super simple. And then we're just going to talk about how stupid that is for about 10, 15 minutes after that. And then conclude who all the terrible people are, who you probably know. So basically, what happened is it's a 6-day war.
Okay.
So it's Israel's going to do just war crimes for 6 days straight. They're going to invade all their neighbors. They're going to steal all their land and keep it, which everybody's super against Russia, Ukraine, right? Come on.
Clearly.
So this is going to go down. And while this is going down, we have a ship called the USS Liberty that's parked over there in international waters in the Mediterranean. And it's a intelligence gathering ship. It has, I believe, 4 50 caliber machine guns on it, but that's it. And it doesn't even run around with an escort. It just, nobody cares. It's the most decorated ship in the U.S. They're listening, right? And you don't want to start an international war.
Right.
So you can't attack them, right?
You would think.
You would think, right. So basically, what happens is some Israeli jets come to a flyby of it. Okay. So this is on June 8th, 1967. So we're several days in and to the war at this point. And keep in mind, the very next morning, the Israelis are going to push into the Golan Heights and do war crimes there and kill people that they shouldn't be killing, then take their land and kick them out. That's what's going to happen the next morning. And we inconveniently have this ship sitting here listening to all their war crimes. So keep in mind, this is Cold War too. So the Soviets are watching everything and we're watching everything at the same time. Soviets are not backing the Arabs and we are not backing Israel. That's what's going down right here. Okay. So then it comes to June 8th. The war started June 4th, I believe. So we're a couple days into it. And the Israeli planes come to a flyby. It's a big old American ship, right? 10,000 tons displacement, I believe.
Yep.
And it's got an American flag. It's got sailors, white people, we'll say. Some white people. I mean, there might have been. But they're shirts off, tanning themselves on the deck. So they do this flyby close enough that the American troops wave at them. Because, oh, look, some Israeli planes, you know?
Yeah.
Basically, they fly. Okay, here's the official narrative. They've mistaken the USS Liberty for the Al-Khazir, an Egyptian ship, which is one of the countries that they're doing war crimes against at the moment. And the Israelis are. And that ship is 2,000 tons, so it's 1/5 the size.
That's just like a freighter, right?
Right. And the profile is completely different. If you fly a plane, you know what ship profiles look like. So there was no American flag hanging on it, is the official narrative, right? Basically, they come back and then they begin attacking. They strafe the ship. They shoot rockets at it. They drop napalm on the deck. 3 torpedo boats come, Israeli torpedo boats. The Navy's here. They begin engaging. The fighters leave. They begin engaging. Basically, the official story is that it lasted 40 minutes. The Israelis figured out what was going on, apologized to us, stopped the attack, 40 minutes, and 9 Americans died and 70-something were injured.
Okay.
The Israeli government paid some reparations, a sum.
Okay.
And that's it.
Oh, okay.
Right? Okay, let's break down what really happened. Okay. The attack was as long as Pearl Harbor. I got a great documentary I'm pinning in but like you want to hear the sailors talk about this.
Yeah.
You want to hear Joint Chief of Staffs. You want to hear the Secretary of State at the time. Like, man, it's good. I recommend it highly.
Yeah, everybody all up the line are all now talking
Right.
about it. Yeah.
After 20 years of silence. Right. So then what really happened is it was a 2-hour attack. It was as long as the attack on Pearl Harbor. The logs were changed later to say that it was a 40-minute attack with 9 casualties. It was a 2-hour attack with 34 casualties and 170-something injured. The flag was up the entire time. When the planes came in for their initial attack, they jammed the communications and then attacked the communication towers. As the Joint Chief of Staff in the documentary says, what if they thought it was the Al-Khazir, why weren't they jamming Egyptian channels?
Right.
They were jamming the 5 channels that the American Navy uses so that they couldn't call for help. basically, you want to tell parts of it? Go for it. I'm just yakking it out.
Yeah, even so, they're attacking it. The Liberty ends up getting communication going, and they end up getting word out.
Right.
And then there's talk going on the back channels. Israel then says, "Oh, we stopped the attack," but yet the attack still goes on for a significant amount of time after that.
Right.
So it's not. It's just shady. The whole thing ends up being shady.
Right. And then related to that communication getting out, the Saratoga sends fighters.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then Robert McNamara from the DC calls the skipper of the Saratoga aircraft carrier and tells him to recall the fighters, which is unbelievable and shows who's really in power in DC.
Right.
That's just it.
Yeah, totally.
And it's not like there's an apology later. It's just like none of this happened. It did. All the sailors say it did.
Right.
All the people,
The evidence of the ship and the pictures of the ship.
Right. Yeah. I'll put some up on the screen periodically in post editing, But the torpedo boats did engage. They fired 6 torpedoes. The skipper of the Liberty was injured and stayed on the bridge for 20 something hours. He managed to dodge 5 of the torpedoes. 1 hit at the water line, immediately killing 25 sailors, and then wounding a massive number. So all the news articles that are going to come out later, like briefly after this happened, the breaking news is that 9 sailors died, but the truth is 34 because they're just deleting the 25 that got hit with the torpedo after the attack ended, And so then they basically battled with the torpedo boats. They dropped 3 life rafts in the water. The torpedo boats gunned down 2 of the life rafts, which is a war crime. They took the other one aboard, which confused me in the story. I'm like, wow, did they take prisoners or did those guys swim away and they machine gun them in the water? I don't know what happened, but very war crimey.
Yeah.
And another part of the story that I didn't know, I've watched documentaries on this before, but from this one is that the sailors say that at a certain point, the U.S. is on the way because they're going to be out there for tons of hours just sitting.
Right.
But some gunships come, some Israeli gunships with soldiers with
like choppers.
Choppers, yeah. And it seems from the sailors' point of view that the intent was just to murder every last person on there so that there would be no evidence. But then the Americans were on the way, so they diverted and retreated. And one of the sailors said in the documentary, he said, if the attack had been better and they had sunk the Liberty, the next morning you would just see a bunch of debris up on the shoreline because there's no communications is the plan. They're not going to communicate their way out of this. And then you're going to be like, oh, those dang Egyptians, you know what I mean? And America would be
Russians
like, go Israel. Yeah, just anybody, right? And so you want to hit them with some more?
Yeah, there was I forget what rank he had, but it was a top level guy had talked to someone in the NSA who had a plane over the area at the time, and they had picked up communications from the torpedo boats and the planes and from the Israelis, and they were saying it's an American ship, and the back at Israeli base they were saying you have your orders.
Right.
Like this was not.
Yeah. They got the orders, said, well, no, wait, that's an American ship. Both the Air and the Navy did the same thing. And they said, you have your orders, go do it. And then that was confirmed by another person on the documentary who had heard it from the CIA.
Okay.
That was in the communications for the area. So basically, this is the true story of it.
Right.
And it's terrible. It's terrible from the fact that the Israelis would do this.
Okay.
It's terrible that we back the Israelis. It's terrible that they haven't admitted to doing it. It's terrible that the United States government covered it up. It's terrible that the American media did the government line because they were just basically whatever the government was saying. They
right.
were. So this is 1967, and you see how it is now. So another part of the story is that they basically took all the sailors in and talked to each one of them. And they said, hey, you don't say anything about this. You'll be court-martialed. You will go to prison. You do not talk to your wife. One guy even said, hey, when we're getting the ship repaired, when you go ashore, just wear civilian clothes and don't tell anybody what ship you're on. It's like illegal to possess civilian clothes on this ship.
Right.
But that's the order given because they're just going to cover this thing up, which shows who the real masters are in America.
Right.
It's not DC.
Right. Yeah, people in charge don't care more about people in other country over you.
Even back then.
Yeah, even back then, the 60s.
Right. Like we could do the Abraham Accords next, which we're literally going to film next. And it's the exact same story, but just this
Just 50
decade.
years later. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. This is the course for nation. And it's so funny because in the documentary, there's all these like the skipper of the Liberty, there's like the Joint Chiefs, like the Secretary of State, and they're all like, man, I don't know how this could happen. You know, like.
Yeah, the only excuse they could come up with was they wanted to save Israel the embarrassment. And in my mind, I'm like, no, because they're in charge.
Because they're in charge.
Right.
Right. Because the natural impulse is to just crush them and just destroy them.
Right, because your people got killed and you got attacked. You defend yourself. That's the normal.
Right. Yeah, and then to get that, it's a terrible tragedy. I told him just before we started filming, June 8th, we're doing Liberty Day at my house. We're doing fireworks. We might burn a flag of a particular country. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna teach my kids.
Yeah, definitely.
And my neighbors, they're gonna be like, why are you doing fireworks? Come on over. It's burgers, hot dogs, fireworks. Light that flag up. You know what I mean? They're gonna think I'm wild. But
yeah,
I'm serious though. Like I'm gonna do that. I mean, I feel like July 4th has been co-opted by.
Right.
I mean, it's a good thing to celebrate July 4th, Independence Day.
Right.
And it's a good event that we got independence from the Brits.
Yeah, it just feels soiled because of who's running everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
right. And that all the people waving their flags and they have no clue about what's going on in reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's all I got.
All right. So what do you think about this? Another example of the government basically just sponsoring the killing of American citizens.
One of the guys on the video, he said that this is the second day that she'll go down in infamy.
Oh, okay.
And I liked that. The name of the video is The Loss of Liberty, which I really like that too. That was clever. But I just want to throw it out like this is of epic proportions. I'm just going to say one more thing.
Please.
Going forward, if we can get rid of the system that we got and we institute a new system, we'll never in the history of this country ally with Israel. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is that bad. There's all the war criminals need to be hung first. The massive apology, but they won't because we're just goy.
Right.
We're just the sheep, and like, who cares about our children?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, policy going forward, no to Israel. And it's interesting because I was thinking about this in relation to this video. You were trying to close it. Now I'm just going on. Basically, the only reason that Israel exists is just because of the United States. Mm-hmm. If we were just to falter in a step for support for them, they would instantly be gone.
Just wiped off.
Because every country in the world doesn't like them.
Yeah.
Russia, China, Middle East, Europe, nobody likes them. Like it comes down to like a UN resolution against them, and it's 2 votes for Israel. The U.S. and Israel, like everybody hates them. I want to do a video soon. I didn't talk to you about this, but I want to do a video soon on just how many war criminals have run that country.
Oh, okay.
Just the sheer number, it's insane.
Just in the short time that they've been in existence.
Right. And then I want to find out how proportional that is to the closest next country.
Oh, okay.
Because it's going to be insane. It's going to be like, it's 42,000% higher than it's going to be insane. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, every president we have is a war criminal.
I agree. But I'm talking about, so I'm saying admitted war criminal. So like, if the whole world looks at you and says, hey, you're a war, it kind of applies to our presidents too. Dang it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like these people have the designation of war criminal. Like the dude who, remember the guy who sailed to Egypt? He sailed from Egypt to Italy after World War II with enough poison on board his ship to poison 3 German cities, just murder the men, women, and children, well, mostly women and children,
Yeah.
That was his plot. And he got caught by the British at an inspection in Italy. They put him in jail in Egypt. He was in jail for 1 year, and then political pressure, he gets released, ends up prime minister of Israel. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, let's do a whole video on just all the stories.
Yeah.
Like, that's wild.
Yeah. As you're talking about, since we're just going off the off the rails anyway, before I started realizing what was going on, I was always stunned by how much Europe and all that hates us. I'm like, well, we're aligned with the bad guys,
right?
And
we're run by the bad guys.
Yeah,
not even aligned. It's not like we're junior partner.
Right.
It's not even like that. It's like we're the goy.
Yeah.
And they're the master.
The hand that.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should put it like this. Well, we're just going off. How many people have become president of the United States and already been war criminals?
Okay.
So you got Eisenhower.
Okay.
For sure a war criminal, and then he becomes president. but not really a lot of others. Like you could say like, well, Obama voted for this. No, that's not what I'm talking about. That's not, I'm talking about you in an executive position as a general, as a president, as a governor.
Made a decision to.
Right. And then it's factually verifiable. And so not a lot from the U.S. if that were the standard. But these guys are like, they already know, like, find us the biggest war criminal in our midst, you know? And then, prime minister, you got the qualifications, you know? You could do the things we need done.
The qualification.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, took it all a little roundabout there. Walkabout.
Should I do a fake closing, or are we actually?
Yeah, just start the closing, and then I'm going to interrupt you and just go off on a tangent.
All right. Well, again, tell us your thoughts. I'm just staring at Jack because he's going to hijack this again. Let us know what you think. If you have any other good examples of this, we love covering this type of thing and going through history and learning about all this. Let us know in the comments below. Hope to see you next time.